I'm John Feigenbaum, President and CEO of Whitman Publishing, and I do duty as well as the pricing editor for US Coinage. And so this is the first regular video newsletters that I want to do this year and catch my audience up to speed with the market because it moves quickly and we see a lot of things and nobody really wants to read long detailed articles. So thank you for joining me today. Today is February 17 and I'm going to give you a state of the market. I won't take this long in between newsletters, but this is the first one. Let me tell you how the year started out with the January 2025 fun show in Orlando, Florida. This is a regular pilgrimage that everybody in the coin business makes, or at least the people at the national level that go to major coin shows. Heritage has a massive auction during the show. And so it really sets a bellwether for the whole year. In fact, I would argue that the fun show is the strongest coin show of the year in the American market for sure. Um, the ANA in the summer is kind of a second place show, followed by, at that point, not many more. The next tier of shows include Central States, which is held in Chicago, Schaumburg every year, and then the Whitman Baltimore Expos that are owned by us and operated by Lori Kraft at Whitman Expos. And, really, I think the November show is probably the third best coin show of the year. So plug for that. The March Expo is also incredible, and the June one, because of summer timing, not as busy, but all three are worthy, as is Central States. And of course, summer ANA, midwinter ANA is then in fifth place or something. This is the show calendar. So the fun show sets the barometer for the year. How does it feel to everybody? Gives us the energy. And I got to tell you, this year's fun show, and I have been to, I think, every fun show outside of COVID since I was about probably 5 years old, because I grew up in Southern Florida. So that meant I went to Miami Beach fun shows. I went to fun shows in Orlando when they called it the Twin Towers. It wasn't. Now it's in the convention center, takes up a large amount of space. And this year's fun show was as energetic and frothy as any I've ever seen. And why is that? Frothy might be too strong a word. I don't want to worry people. Dealers were running around the show really looking to buy. And then we all the time people say, "Oh, I can't buy enough coins." The truth is we usually can always buy enough coins as dealers if we have an open checkbook ready to roll. But there were numerous dealers looking to fill massive orders, from what I could tell, deep orders of coins, especially in the, let's say, $100 to $1,000 range, that these size certified coins in this price range that aren't all modern coins. So let's say if you had, I don't know, a hoard of XF Barber quarters, nobody does, or even good collectible Morgans, circulated or collect, better dates and uncirc, like 1879 or something like that. Those are good coins. People need them. There's just, I guess, a lot more collectors looking for these things. When we're talking about dealers who are putting together marketing packages, as we know, some kind of the boxes, that's one place we're using them. Another place is on live internet shows like Whatnot. I was hearing a lot of demand for that. And then another tier of dealers who just needs this kind of collector coins, because if mass audience companies like Whatnot or these popularity of these, surprise boxes programs, this is developing new customers, at a certain price point. It takes some years for those customers to become serious enough to start spending a lot of money to 500 or 1,000, $10,000 coins. Sometimes just depends if somebody can afford to do that. But it also, everybody has lots of demands on their interest and time and money. And so coin collectors aren't built overnight. It's a process by which people fall in love with with coin collecting. And of course, shameless plug, it starts out with a red book. Every dealer tells the new collector, buy the red book. You'll understand the whole backbone of our hobby, what the details are, what coin series. You might like gold coins, you might like nickels, you might like 3-cent pieces, commemoratives, modern, anything. It's all in the red book, really quick. And that's why people love the red book. 200,000 people a year buy a red book, which is an incredible number. Anyway, back to the market. So the fun show is really strong, and it started out a little quieter. It got gradually better as the show went on, which is a great sign. A lot of times I've been to shows, where everybody comes in hot and heavy on the first day or two and then peters out quickly. And then you feel like, oh, it was great in the beginning, but then I don't feel excited going home. No, the fund show was a strong market event. And I would say that it feels like it's going to be a good year for coin collecting. Now, at the same time, we have a problem with bullion, as a lot of people know or don't know. But bullion, spot price of gold is now in and around 2,900, which is an incredibly high number, might be, records on given days. And that is super problematic for people who make a living in the bullion business, because coin shops are everybody's selling to coin shops right now and nobody's buying from coin shops. So the price of gold is being driven largely, I think, by institutional and maybe nationalities, like foreign countries hoarding gold and things like that. It's not American coin collectors or consumers that are pushing the price of gold up. It's this kind of nebulous demand that isn't the same. So what happens is bullion prices have outstripped what a lot of our collectors are comfortable paying and price points. So if you're a dealer selling, 1 ounce of gold to a retail customer, I mean, if gold costs you 2,900 plus all the certification and things like that, and you want to sell it for 3,500, that's a tough sell, very tough sell. And you're not making, by the time you pay shipping and insurance and interest and credit card fees, it's a very tough living, to sell bullion gold right now. Silver is, in some ways, is becoming the new gold, and maybe platinum is becoming the new gold. So whereas those price points are lower, but gold is gold. No substitute for the most, for everybody's favorite yellow metal, right? So this is the dilemma of the market. You're seeing premiums for even things like silver eagles or the world mint, kind of philharmonics and things like that at maybe an all-time low in recent times. What I mean is the premium over the spot metal. So if silver's at $30, $31, then, it used to be, $5 per coin premium for a silver ounce. I'm told that retailers are having trouble with this part of the market. So they're also pulling over to collector coins because they're realizing that if the bullion markets aren't busy, then we should sell more collector coins. And that's another reason for the demand. So that's the fourth reason now that I've articulated as to why collector coins are super hot this year, whether they weren't. So anyway, if you're looking for good collector coins, if you're a dealer or if you're a collector, I think you're going to expect to pay some more than you had. The Greysheet's keeping up with it a little bit, but it's, the levels haven't quite moved right now. So I think you'll pay a little more, but probably levels will move. And I'm talking about VF, XF, AU, MS60 to 63, 64, V nickels. And, collector coins under $1,000 are good coins, especially in the 19th century or early 20th, like Standing Liberty quarters, better date Mercury dimes. You should buy things like that right now. I think that, especially if you love them, because I think that they're just solid investments, and the prices still surprise me how reasonable things are, in our business. Plus half dollars in VF. I mean, come on, so inexpensive. So if you're looking for something to buy, then I would go there. So anyway, so now let me carry forward. So after the fun show, we went to New York for a day. So the New York International is an international coin show in, I think, the Intercontinental Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. It's been on forever and ever and ever. Goes back to the Twin Towers downtown, and it's just an incredible history of this show. It's largely attended by international dealers. So that right after the fun show, some of those dealers go to both shows, and then some American dealers do it. But really, you have, you had Stax Bowers there, of course, and Heritage, and a few American dealers. But a lot of these guys coming from Germany or Geneva, Switzerland, Zurich, auction companies in Spain. So it's a really neat place to go, and and the lobby of that hotel is really a fun place to be. Everyone's just hanging out. It's like an international event for sure, and it's a coin collector's show. And so there's I think 3 or 4 auctions that go on with it, ancient coins and all these kind of things. Very interesting. But so I went for a day because I do something with the American Numismatic Society, where Whitman supports their annual gala event. And this year they honored the people who actually worked the show for, I don't know, decades. So that was a really, really cool thing. And I had a good vibe there, but I didn't see as much business being done. I mean, it's hard for Europeans to come with inventory anyway, because You have to do customs and things like that. I don't know. I would never travel overseas with coins. It's too complicated. The following week, right after the New York show, I think there's maybe a 1 week off, and then we head to Berlin for the major coin event of the year. In some people's circles, it is the Berlin World Money Fair, and the World Money Fair is really a specialty event now on the calendar where all the different world mints will converge and set up with amazing booths. And I mean, the Canadian mint, the Austrian mint comes with 6 foot wooden cows, with a Austrian chalet. The whole thing is just really out there in terms of you've never seen anything like it in the United States with these big displays, and a lot of young people wearing suits and so on, and it's really eye turning. And there's even the manufacturers of the planchets or the card boxes that you might supplies. These manufacturers are there to sell to the mints, and the mints are there to meet potential buyers all over the world for the coins that they're issuing that year. So, what you have is, I don't know, let's say the German mint, of course, is present, the Monnaie de Paris from France. And what they'll do is invite the right people up into their suites, a hotel suite. So the Bourse floor is kind of a lot of retail therapy, looking, beautiful displays, but upstairs is where the business is done. And so you have to get an invitation to a meeting, and they'll sit you around a table and tell you about all the products that they're coming out with in 2025. And then here's the price levels, and here's how many, if you buy 100 units, then it's this price, and here we're only going to make 999 of them silver. They give you the same pitch, I suppose, if in any kind of business, like, we could be in fashion and talking about the new wear of the year, the new jeans. But anyway, it is the fashion show for coins. And, this year's sponsor was the Swiss Mint. So the Swiss had this incredible party. I think 800 people showed up for this big, huge party and, dinner. It was like the biggest wedding you've ever been to. And they, it's a fabulous thing. And they teach you about Switzerland, and they try to make you, love the company and the product. And, you can't help but have good feelings about it. And this whole massive business they call, international, the world mints production is also under pressure right now. They are feeling the pressure in all over the world of lower demand for bullion related items. So the whole coin show is based on how can our mint, let's call it the Perth mint or the Australian mint or whatever, and just say, we want to produce Kookaburra coins this year. What's the premium? Well, the premium is only 3% or 2%, whatever that premium is on the wholesale market. So if we can't make those, let's make something even more special. Let's make a super limited edition coin with 3D hologram and spend a lot more money on the technical engineering. A company called CIT does the most amazing coins I've ever seen. In fact, I was so amazed. I am going to buy a small number, like 10 pieces, 15 pieces. And one coin I'm going to offer one coin. It's called a Matterhorn. It's 2 kilos of silver. And I'm going to offer for sale on the Greysheet site because I'd have no idea if it'll sell. It's like a $10,000 incredible thing. I'm not easily impressed. In fact, I'm never impressed by modern stuff. And what they're making at CIT is just fantastic. And I think that it's worth getting the word out. And so anyway, that's what that show's all about. And the show was incredibly well attended this year. It's under new management. So it's the same ownership, but they hired a new Bourse chairman after COVID. I think this is the second year. His name's Gates. And Gates did just an amazing job. I mean, it's knowing what we know about running coin shows in Baltimore, this is a first class event. Unbelievable. Everything's to the nines, experimenting with new ideas. It's a 40 or so year old show. So that, Getz comes along and he wants to try some new things. He wants to change the way the meetings are held, or at least the galas. So, not always going to be without controversy, let's say, to change things. But I thought he knocked it out of the park. And, Whitman had a booth there, and we are really excited about spending time. So I was there, and our good friend Art Friedberg, we now publish his books and titles. And so Art is now part of the Whitman team. That's new since basically January. And if I'll get him on a conversation very soon because Art is the coolest guy in the world, and he's been around forever. So he actually knows a lot of the mint directors from Hungary and other mints. He's personal friends with these people for decades. It's really special. It's really fun to be on this side of the business now and not trading coins like we used to. So anyway, so basically in 4 weeks I was in three coin shows: Fun, New York, and then Berlin. Came back to a much needed vacation, and here I am just back from vacation on President's Day, and I'm excited about all the things that we're doing at Whitman this year. Whitman and Greysheet. We've got we did something fun in the March Greysheet. There's a crossword puzzle. Now, doesn't sound like a big deal, but for years I wanted to put a crossword puzzle. I think a lot of coin collectors like to do crossword puzzles for some reason, like word games. And so my mother, who's a 35-year newspaper editor and a world-class crossword puzzler at the national contests every year, I finally told her, I said, please connect me with the gurus of that business. So we have an authentic New York Times crossword puzzle creator created us a numismatic puzzle for the first time. If it goes well and people give good feedback, I will hire him and have him do a custom puzzle, as many months as we can. So love to hear your feedback on the crossword puzzle on the Greysheet. If you don't subscribe to the Greysheet, then please do, because there's another feature that we're adding to this publication. And, we're working on at Whitman, we're working on at least 5 or 6 books right now to to release in 2025. I think in 25, we will have over 10 books published, which is, I'm sure, a record for this company. We are really pushing the pedal to the metal in a lot of areas. And, and we're having so much fun doing it. And the team has really been great. Hopefully you're seeing all this great marketing we're starting to do. We're getting on social media. Obviously, I'm here talking on a podcast. I'm about to record another podcast with former Mint director David Ryder and Jeff Garrett as part of our Red Book series. So please watch that. That should be posted any day, if not already. So, we are trying everything we can, to support this hobby and to bring great products at the same time. One last thing I'll leave you with is I'm really pumped about this new album. So if the Whitman Blue album is, of course, for years and years, I challenged the team. I said, you know what, I want to make next level. The Whitman album was not as good as the Dansko album, right? We all know that. A, B, and C. So C's are folders, B's are Whitman albums, A's were the Dansko albums. So this new album, okay, what are we calling this? Like a deluxe line. Comes with a slip. Every album page comes with a slipcase. Totally higher grade materials than we've ever had. We're calling it the Prestige. Pardon me, I should know these things, but this is the Prestige album. And it comes in black and silver or burgundy. I don't have a burgundy copy right in front of me, and we're starting out with Lincoln Cents and Morgan Dollars and I think Silver Eagles. Go to Whitman.com and look for the Prestige albums. I think you'll see what we're talking about. And so we have those albums. We're going to make new albums for Mexican coins like Libertads and things like that. Everything is on the table. And like I said, we're having a blast doing it. I will come back to you hopefully in a week or something like that. I'll try to do these as often as I can. I have a pretty busy schedule, but I really want to do a better job explaining all the wonderful things we're doing at Whitman and talk about our team. So thank you again for joining, and I'll see you soon.